All right, I'm going to turn it over first to Karen Parkman for roll call. We need to get all the attendants that are on the call. Let's go ahead and start with this room.
Morning. Yep.
Connie Nguyen, Executive Director.
Micah Lloyd, Director of Mutuals.
Also in this room, we have
Russell Fine from Gameplay Network.
Can you repeat that? I didn't hear who that was.
Russell Fine from Gameplay Network.
And Drew Silver from Churchill Downs Technology Editions Company.
Did you get that last one?
Yeah, it was a little garbled, but I think I got it. Eric?
All right, that's it from our room.
Okay.
Andrew Moore from FanDuel TVG.
Todd Cassidy, FanDuel TVG as well.
Greg Avioli from Gameplay Network.
Nelson, you're on mute. Can you introduce yourself?
You'll be the official microphone.
My apology. Nelson Clemens, Amwest Entertainment.
Linnell? How about tag?
I got tags.
And do you have Linnell?
I have Linnell. I can only see some of them. I can't see all of them. I don't know exactly how many we've got here.
Yeah, I believe that that's everybody that's on. Is there anybody else on this call that has not introduced himself? That should be it. We're missing a couple people, but
We are.
so who are we missing? I know we're missing Jean.
Can you repeat Andrew Silver, who you're with?
Twin Spires for Chill Downs.
Twin Spires. Okay.
Officially, it's Twin Spires, correct?
Yeah, Twin Fires. But
All right.
Oh, do you want me to text Gene, let him know we're on the call?
He's supposed to be here.
Oh,
We saw him last night, so he is in town. I know that.
oh, they're
Yeah.
all right.
Go ahead and send him a text just in case too, if you'd like. We'll wait a couple more minutes, but we'll need to get going. Who else are we missing besides Jean?
Yeah. Written down here.
I think that's the only one.
There we go. Oh, David Truman.
Points bet. Do you want to send him a
Yeah,
text?
again, he's on paternity.
He's probably
leave,
can't.
so.
Yeah, okay. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and, in the sake of time, go ahead and start. David Truman from PointsBet is part of the committee. He's not on the call. We believe that he may be out on paternity leave and did not let us know if he had a replacement.
Right. He implied that he would send a replacement, but I have not received confirmation.
Cindy, we have Cindy graciously bowed out. The reason being that we thought that it was better that no ADW had more than one person, since that was the only one. And Gene Shabrier is missing in action. We will see if we can get him in shortly.
I texted him.
Thank you very much. All right. Again, my name is Connie Nguyen. I'm going to go ahead and kick this meeting off. The reason we're here is during the SOS audit, and there is Gene Shabrier. You can add him. During the SOS audit, they had requested that we consider adding rules or statutes to address different types of interfaces to ensure that they meet the state constitution and rules. So that's what's led us to this meeting at this point. Each of the members of this committee have received a charter for us that explains the rules on this. The only individuals that are allowed to partake in the discussion are the official members that have been appointed to this group. If a member wants to call on someone for testimony or additional information, they can. Otherwise, all other comments need to be left to public comment at the end of the meeting. We have two rules to review. One is OAR 462-220-003012, and the other is OAR 462-220-0070. These were all sent out to stakeholders, and they are also available on our front page of our website if you do not have them, so you can follow along. With that, I'm going to turn it over to my associate here, Micah Lloyd, and let him
Take the microphone.
lead the discussion.
And let's make. Testing. Speakers. Testing. Okay.
That's weird. I know.
Now we're there. Good morning, everyone. I think we should enter into the record the actual wording of the proposed change as was sent out. Since they're nice, short and succinct, this should be an easy thing. We're looking to add to OAR 462-220-0030 subsection 12, new phrasing, new wording. An applicant may have their site reviewed to ensure that game and wagering operations do not conflict with Oregon Constitution and state statutes prior to approval of the license by the Commission. Subsection A, during ORC audits, reviews will ensure that game and wagering operations do not conflict with the Oregon Constitution and state statutes. Subsection B, all requests for updates to the plan of operations will include ensuring that game and wagering operations do not conflict with the Oregon Constitution or state statutes. Considering the relation between these two rules, I'm also going to move forward and read 462-220-0070, the new wording for section 2, which will push all subsequent sections down. Section 2, during ORC audits, wagering technology and or interface may be evaluated to ensure it does not violate any Oregon law or constitutional limitations or prohibition. That is the wording. As Connie alluded to, stated earlier, this is in direct response to the Secretary of State audit and their recommendation that the offerings from the ADWs are in line with what the Oregon Constitution and statutes permit. We now open up to the floor for discussion.
Request that Greg Avioli from Gameplay Network speak on behalf of Gameplay Network regarding some proposed changes to the language.
Yeah, Greg, can you
Sorry, I'm muted.
Alan,
You undo everything. All right, per request from Mr. Fine, we are going to turn it over to Greg for further explanation.
I appreciate that. Good morning, everybody. As I have spoken to Connie about, when we looked at the proposed regulations, we read them in the context of the audit. And to us, the clear intent was to address a specific issue, that is, what is the definition of a casino and related issues of what would be allowable marketing activities for an ADW in connection with casino type activities. But then the audit went on and said very clearly that the real challenge is that casino is not defined in the Oregon general statutes. So our belief is that trying to address this issue at this point through regulation is probably not the best or most efficient approach. To say that the ADWs need to comply with the Constitution begs the question, how exactly do you do that when no one knows what the definition of a casino is? So our suggestion is that the commission let the legislature go first, let the legislature define what a casino is or isn't. And then the ORC can follow up and write regulations consistent with whatever that new legislation is. The only suggestion that we made, that we've sent around, is essentially what we didn't see in Oregon's regs is what's in a lot of other states' regs, including Nevada, for example, that essentially says that ADWs, by definition of accepting the license, are deemed to know and understand and comply with the regs of the ORC. I don't think anyone would dispute we all should be doing that. It just, to kind of sum up, we believe there needs to be a specific regulation that can be understood and complied with. So that's sort of where we were coming from.
Do you have an example of wording that you think has passed muster in other jurisdictions?
Yeah, let me give me a second. I'll pull that up. We did send that in. Hold on.
Let me have an email. Greg, is this the same email you're talking about?
Yeah, I've got it, Russell. It's very simple. It says it's from Oregon, and it says acceptance of a state gaming license or renewal thereof by a licensee constitutes an agreement on the part of the licensee to be bound by all of the regulations of the commission as the same now or may hereafter be amended or promulgated.
Right. Okay,
All right, well, let's move on to other people. Get
Right.
everyone else's
indeed.
opinion on both of these.
And for ease of this meeting, I'm going to go around the room inside here first, and then we'll turn it over to the Zoom side. Andrew, do you have any comments you want to bring?
I think maybe only to ask if the text that was sent around could be shared with the whole group here. I don't know if that's
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Why don't we'll email this out to everyone? Can you email it out right now to everyone?
Sure.
One moment, and we'll get that out to everyone.
You can also put it in the Zoom chat.
Oh, that's probably the easiest way to handle it.
We have to have Malia do it.
On the same thing, too. For everyone else, yeah.
Malia, we're going to send you a document. Can you put that up on the screen? And chat, perhaps? I don't think chat's enabled.
Well, let me send it to Malia first, and we'll see what happens. See if she can do it. It'll be a race.
Well, while we wait, I don't think we had any particular comments on what was sent around initially by the commission as far as the proposals.
The commission?
Yeah.
What, the
Yeah,
commission?
the commission. Yeah, we didn't have any comments on the your proposed text, but if it's altered.
Okay. Hey, this is Gene Schreier with ExpressBet. Hey, I do want to support what Greg has suggested. He did send me the language, and I think it makes a little more sense to keep it kind of broad like that.
I also want to ask if our attorneys come back and say that that language doesn't sufficiently do what we asked on the original language. If we had to go forward with that, do you have any additional recommendations to change the language proposed?
Not at this time, but if they do edit it, send it back out, we'll comment at that time.
Malia, can you confirm you received that and are trying to get that shared with everybody? Seer is away, so. All right, fine. Let me just send out a new email.
Yeah, it may be better to put on a Word document. Malia, are you there? Okay. Let's go ahead and continue with the rest of the people on here until we get that up.
All right, then let's turn it over to some of the folks that are calling in remotely. I call on Nelson.
I concur with Greg and Gene's comments. One of the difficulties we always have as legislation changes is not being advised by the state or the commission of those changes. It doesn't happen often, but it does happen. And I think the language that focuses on the commission versus the broad knowledge of all of the state statutes and legislation on the books is really the compliance that we're all able to genuinely deliver. So I concur with that. That's a good, very good inclusion in this discussion.
Andrew, will you be speaking on behalf of TVG or?
Yes, like that. So no objection to anything that's been said so far in terms of having as broad a language as possible. So I don't have much to add to what's been said, though I have not seen that language yet. So, but nothing really to add on that point.
All right. Linnell, do you have anything you wish to share?
No, thank you. I'm just observing.
Thank you. And Tag? Oh,
Tag's not part of
Tag's
it.
not part of this. All right, never mind. You got to hold out your words until later. All right, hold on. I think it bears that we put a pause until we get these wordings phrased and sent out to all members of the committee, so we're not on the back foot here.
So we're going to email it to you until we're able to and get Malia to put it up. I apologize. She has a very young child and may have had an emergency that she had to step away for a moment. But we are emailing it all to you. Does everyone have access to their email right now?
Yes.
Yes.
Can I join in Zoom? Do I have permissions to put something in chat? So I can just drop it.
I can't. So,
So you have to be,
you have to be an
It's
administrator.
unfortunate.
Got it.
We turned off chat for the system use because
Oh.
we've had things where people have started posting anonymous.
Inappropriate or.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Question, is this the proposed alternative wording intended to replace
Both of these?
both of these, one of these? Which one of these?
I need to replace them. I think one of the thoughts that we had is that there's a great deal of underlying complexity as it was written that we received. And this was our attempt to sort of place the burden of ensuring that the right research analysis was done on the parties who were essentially agreeing to it. In this case, we provide a product or service, we innovated a quick hit. Right? We have done the work and state that we have done the work to ensure we're in compliance with the Oregon Racing Commission. And we add into that the Oregon Racing Commission, as part of licensing, working on website review. I think there's a lot of ambiguity in that term review, by whom reviewed under what methodology, reviewed with what authority to make decisions on places where it's ambiguous. It opens up so many questions. It's hard for us to understand what that really means. Whereas I think that racing commission's regulations on racing are very succinct. They establish the things that we are to do, we are not to do, and I think it's easy agency commission to apply those to us. And that's sort of our understood contract between us when we go to a third party set of regulations. It's hard for us to understand how that would take place, who is the arbiter, the author, the decision maker. I think it puts a big burden on the ORC, candidly. And it also would create some stress in the relationships with the licensees and the ORC, because you would now be interpreting laws that were not within the purview of the ORC. So we don't know how that actually works.
Yeah, I understand. Lilia's back and she's gonna see if she can't get that up real quick as opposed to me sending out this email.
So
Go ahead and send
I'm
out the
gonna
email
send it.
too.
Yeah, Jean,
Did you send it?
not yet. Nelson. Who am I missing?
Okay, give me 1 second. Trying to figure out how to share this wording where it is in our documents.
I want to note, and I don't know if this is being recorded or if it's translated, but
Oh, what's up?
this does not in any way mean as a licensee, we assume others do not feel 100% bound to operate within the laws of every jurisdiction they operate, are absolutely responsible to ensure that they do. Right? We don't in any way disagree with that. We go to great lengths to make sure everything we do is in compliance with every jurisdiction we're aware of. It's just really a question of how the ORC acts as the reviewer, or who does that within this context, which we just don't really quite understand how that would function.
Who else has not spoken yet? Andrew Moore?
I did speak.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
we got
good.
it. We got it. All right.
Sorry.
No,
Copy her on that too.
I did. Good. Subject. Send. See. All right, I just sent the email out to everybody. Please let me know if and when you receive it. Right now, it's on its way to Salem. Now it's past Salem and going out to the West Coast.
It's up in the cloud, floating around.
Uh-oh. Elon Musk knocked it down.
Elon Musk.
Oh, yeah, no. And it'll be edited by the.
Yeah, this is going to Kentucky.
It's arrived.
You all tomorrow.
Nelson, I'm sorry, you said you got it?
Yes.
Fantastic. All right. Well, it made it to Kentucky.
Some parts of Kentucky.
Some parts of Kentucky.
Malia, did you get it?
Yes, I did. And I'm going to share it to the screen in just 1 second.
Instead of just copying it into the, I could have done a screen share.
You couldn't. That's
Okay.
fine.
So here is the proposed wording. Can everyone see that?
Yes, can you make it smaller? I mean, larger, so
Yeah.
it's running off to the right and we really can't read it all.
Oh, okay. Let me see if there's a way.
Just make the text larger. Oh,
Open the Word document.
just open up the Word document, right? There we go.
Make that bigger.
And then the bottom right corner of the window, change from 100% to 150 or something.
Right. How's that?
Lovely. Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
Oh.
As my screen is doing weird things because it looks very different on my end. There you go.
So everybody can, it was read into the record earlier, but let everyone have a moment to read it and absorb. And then we'll have additional comment.
Our process, if this is what everybody agrees on, is we would not even do we would have to determine if there's a fiscal impact, which I don't think there would with this, and then we would have to run it up to DOJ.
Right.
and have them review the recording and decide if there's any reason why we could not do this.
Also see if it meets the needs of our
Auditing team.
yes. But it's a step in the right direction, or it's a step in a direction. All right, let's open back up for additional comments and go around the room and see if anyone's changed their position. I'm going to go backwards this time and start with Andrew Silver.
Yeah, I don't think any objection to this to this text. I guess for clarity, would the idea be for this to replace the new text that both of the regulations we're discussing, or would the idea be to? This looks like it's about licensing, so it seems like it would more appropriately land in.
Yeah, 30 subsection 12.
Yeah, and I guess the question is, what happens to the other things?
Yeah, and we may need to have some discussion with our DOJ team. It may also just simply refer to. I don't want to guess against that. So let me put a pin in that one.
I think if it was in licensing, we probably wouldn't necessarily need it in here, but the auditing team actually recommended we had both places, so we'll have to ask.
Okay.
Yeah, no objection to it going in one or both locations.
Thank you. And Andrew Moore.
Same, no objection to this going in one or both.
Thank you. Nelson?
No objection. It's good language. I like it.
Thank you. Gene?
I continue to like it.
Russell? All right. We seem to have,
He said it works for him.
yeah, for the record, he said it works for him. So we seem to have general consensus. I turn it back over to you, Connie, for the next steps.
All right. Yep. There we go. See, it was your turn this time. All right. So the last piece of this is to determine if there is a public a fiscal impact on this new language. Again, it may be that we'll be meeting again based on what we get from our Department of Justice and the auditing team. One person has to be responsible for turning in our official form on this. We would have to actually make a new one that reflects correctly. Why don't you just cross this out and say new proposed changes or something? And Jean, since you've done this before, would you like to be the one that runs a discussion on the fiscal impact, if there is any? No? Yes? No? Yeah. So all I need to do is ask the members if they see any fiscal impact for the community, us, or anyone else, and then take a vote, and then you guys say yes or no.
All right, as the language is proposed, does anyone have or see any fiscal impact on the industry or the commission? We'll go around the room. We'll start here. Andrew?
I don't see any impacts. Assuming we're talking about that do propose?
Yes. Oh,
Probably that's the same commentary.
yeah, I don't see any.
Well, for what it's worth, I see some. In the event that the language that was originally proposed, not the replacement language, I believe that some of our services and others that have been proposed and or authorized would end up requiring a lot more scrutiny and discussion by a commission. So a review would probably entail much greater detail of features. There would be legal opinions involved. There would be discussion of proposed features, existing features, and some types of payments interfaces. And I do believe that would incur costs on both the commission and the attorney general and the governance.
So I think,
And I can see that happen. We have a question were asked about a particular game we offer others. That would end up spending we would probably have a lot of discussion. My guess is there would be financial impact.
so let's do this, let's do fiscal impact on all three, because we can send that back when we bring these recommendations. So on the initial two, you feel that there would be significant potential for significant fiscal impact.
I do.
And on the third one,
Because potentially there could be things in reviews that needed further due diligence, further discussion, interpretation of different regulations and discussions between attorneys. I suspect some of that could end up costing some money, yes.
So across all three potential options, there are a fiscal impact. What that monetarily equates to cannot yet be determined. It's going to be on a case by case basis.
It would depend on what the definition of a review is,
Right.
which the original language doesn't define, right? So a review, for example, turned up in a question they wanted to be discussed. What's the process for discussing it? Who's involved in discussing it on the government side, right? The ORC and/or the Attorney General or other parties. And that could be open-ended, and I think that can end up. That would be.
and you've addressed it to original.
Right, I think the language we proposed, but I don't see any economic impact. These are things that we already all do and commit to and are absolutely happy to do. Okay, so I see no impact there.
All right, so you have three sheets now. One I handed to you that could be used for the proposed wording. And under that one, I think what we're saying is that they're. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. All right, Nelson, do you have any thoughts on fiscal impact?
The resolution,
I think you're muted, Nelson.
He doesn't
well,
look like he's married.
Oh, we're not hearing you, Mike.
I should be good. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
No, and sometimes the sound, the resolution of on your side gets a little garbled. I think I caught most of it. But if we're talking strictly about the amended language of fiscal impact there, is that where we are?
Yes.
Okay, I don't see material impact. Gene, I do not see material impact incorporating that language. I'm good with it.
Turn him off.
Nelson?
Yes.
Okay.
Am I on mute?
We want to know on all three of them. So not just the proposed new language, but the initial languages too. So we have a record of all of them to bring to the Department of Justice.
Okay, well, on the last one, I don't see material impact. I agree with most of the comments that were brought out before. And so I'll subscribe to those.
Andrew Moore.
Yeah, like Nelson, things are a bit garbled, so I can't hear everything clearly. But I also the same. I'm broadly aligned with everything that's been said.
And Tom Cassidy?
Tom is with me, so we're at the same.
Linnell?
I'm all good, thanks.
Anyone else to ask?
Give a summation for the record.
Yeah.
Okay, to summarize,
Wait, is your speaker on?
yes.
Okay. All right, good. Can everyone hear Gene?
Yes.
Test.
Okay.
Okay, to summarize loosely is that the original language as proposed would have a fiscal impact, which could be, will be yet to be determined, where the new language would have no fiscal impact on either the ADW or the ORC.
All right, so at this point, we can turn it over to public comment. Are there any public comments by the attendees who are not part of this group? Unknown caller. All right, that concludes this meeting. The meeting is adjourned, and I guess we'll learn more in the upcoming weeks as we talk to the Department of Justice. Thank you very much for your attendance and have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.